do you remember why did you go with What More Can I Say as the album title?
Because it's from Top Billing.
No, I mean maybe you could have called it Top Billing or,
Oh yeah, I guess we could have called, but because it's a question, right? What more can I say? Like here we are. What more can I say? So I just think that it was a question, and I think that that's what the album was a question. Like the
including the song.
questions,
Yeah,
the
including the song.
questions.
In- Which I thought was, I remember back then when people would say he's screaming on the mic. I remember that one was one where I was like, oh, he's really screaming, like for
Mhm.
real.
Yeah,
But um, I imagine this might be just because you were trying to be different, but Cool Keith is one of the earlier guys I remember not always rhyming per se. LL Cool J did it early. Was that just something that you were just being different to do, or was that like, oh, I'm not going to rhyme on purpose, or how did that end up happening?
yeah. I was trying to be different, do something different. I was like, nobody ever did this before, so that was my main thing. I was always trying to do something that's the story of my life actually. But yeah, trying
Right.
to do something different. Yeah.
Okay. And then with the twos on the mic, you talk about your colors being red and white. Why did and that was definitely a hallmark of the audio 2 presentation and aesthetic. So why were red and white your favorite colors or ones you just like to wear so much?
Yeah, it was just the what I like to wear. It wasn't, like I think what it was at that point we were trying to find a, I don't know, a look, a brand, colors. Like I said, we were just doing what we were doing. But we noticed I always used to wear red because it was a good stage color. And we realized that people started expecting us to wear red. And so we just ran with it.
Okay. And when two is on the mic, you also rap about your dad having your back.
Mhm.
And, as you're well aware, around this time or a little bit later, there started being the thing of my dad's not around, I don't know my dad, that type of stuff. So, looking back and even saying that in a rhyme at the time, did you understand the significance of your dad helping you so much, running stuff with you?
Is I've gotten this before and I didn't at the time, but if it influenced society in a good way, then I'm happy. But I didn't realize it at the time. I was just being myself. But other people have, I've had conversations about that with other people as well. So I'm glad it was a good look.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it's one of those rhymes that it's probably not one of your more famous ones, of course, but when you hear that, it really sticks out, especially with what rap would become of the kind of the unfortunate reality of a lot of people not having that relationship with their dad. So, yeah. And
Yeah.
with the unorthodox thing, one thing about I Don't Care is those drums are very unorthodox, especially, given the fact that so much of rap is just a simple loop pattern or what have you that are it's standard. So since rap is so drum driven, uh, the unorthodoxness of that in particular was always striking to me. Do you remember how or why that ended up the way it was?
I don't care. So
Hmm.
I don't care again. So okay, so what I learned recently, right, is that you can get into a state of creativity that's called unconditional creation. And that's what that whole first album was. And basically what it is you're just being creative. There's no rhyme or reason, there's no plan. You just go in the studio and whatever comes out, and it comes from being consistent. So if you go into the studio every day and you're consistent and you create unconditionally, right? Not I'm going to make a song like this, or this needs to be drum heavy, or I'm going to rhyme like this. It's none of that. You just go in the studio and whatever comes out, well, for me, it's whatever comes out, I say, "Oh, that's dope," and then that's it. And that's what I don't care was. I was messing around and I was like, "Yo, this is crazy. It's perfect. It's dope." And also, and something else that's innovative about that song is like the verses. It's like the verses are like, I don't know, 24 bars. It's not 8 bar. It's just like I'm just rhyming, 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 right? Sounds like it's never gonna stop. The beat is all crazy. And um so yeah, just that was just being creative, and that's what came out. It was unconditional, it wasn't planned. And see, that's the thing. I would say later in my career, that's one of the things that stifled me was the inability to just do whatever I wanted. Like initially, I could just do whatever I want, and if I told my father like, "Yo, this is dope," he'd be like, "Okay," and we would put it out. But then when you get to the point where they're like, you know, you need a hit, or you got to make it, you got to do it like this, or you need a heavy D song, or, which is something I know I said that already. That's something that they actually said to me at Atlantic.
Oh wow.
Or when you have A&R people telling you, um, so I had, okay, I'm gonna just give you a quick story and fast forward a little bit. So I don't know if you did know this, but I did the song for AIM and I Don't Want You Back, right? You know that song? Okay, so the song, it had cursing in it. They there was a few labels that were interested in it, but they were like, "Wow, we think there's a hit song, but it's too much cursing. It'll never get any radio play." Of course, Barry Weiss, who's a visionary and an innovator, when he heard it, he understood exactly. He's one of the few that kind of understand where I'm coming from. But we put it out. It ends up being the most played song in the world that year, right? This is the same song that they said they would never play. But here's the thing. Originally, when we released the song, the pop department at Jive was like, they was like, this trash, basically. And so they put it in the R&B, the R&B department. And when we were working on the album, the A&R guy who's Wayne Williams, that's R. Kelly's boy. He said, I go to meet with him, and he says, I respect him so much. I go, I go to meet with him, and I'm like, all right, we're working on the album, and I'm expecting to hear, you know, we need this hit song. It has to be radio friendly, whatever. And what he said to me was, he's like, yo, um, just keep doing what you're doing. And I was like, oh, okay, bet. So, which was wonderful. And that's what we did. And the album did really well. But when it was time for the second album, they said, okay, we want it to be even bigger. So we're going to put it in the pop department. So now I'm in the pop department with the A&R people, the same ones that didn't have faith in the huge hit song that we already had. And now they're telling me what I need to do for this next record, which didn't make any sense to me. It's basically the same situation with Top Billing, right? You didn't hear it. You couldn't hear it. It came out, it exploded. In my mind, I would say, well, just keep, like what Wayne Williams said, just keep doing what you're doing. And once you come up to that resistance, it, for me, it stifles me. Like I can't, I'm not a producer. I can't do what anybody else does. I can't, like, it's not even that I don't want to. I mean, I don't want to, but it's not even that I just don't want to. I'm not capable of recreating somebody else's stuff. Only thing I could do is what I do. So that freedom is what I love initially. And as time goes on, when you lose that freedom, it doesn't feel good. Now people are judging you and telling you, you know, how good what you're creating is, or if it's valid.